Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY and on this video tutorial we're going to make a really fun flower painter's drop cloth pillow wrap. Oh my gosh, it's going to have painter's drop cloth, it's going to have some buttons, it should be really fun, and what I want to introduce you to are pillow wraps. So this is a little band that goes around the tummy of a pillow. For example, this is the Magnolia 18 by 18 pillow, canvas pillow cover. And I have it decorated the back of it with the Mandela lace stencil, but I just wanted to show you how this would work. And the great thing about these pillow wraps are that you don't have to change the pillows all the time. You can just change the wrap. So super cool. That's what we're going to be doing. And let's just jump right in. Let me put this back together. So how is everyone doing today? All right, the first thing we're going to make is a rolled rosette. And probably most, if not all of you guys have seen that before because I do it all the time. But this is painter's drop cloth. This is all I have left. I need to get a new one. Painter's drop cloth comes from a hardware store. I usually get mine at, I'm trying to think, Home Depot. I like Everbuilt brand. Everbilt, medium duty brand, and it's kind of this oatmeal-y creamy color. So first thing you're going to do is tear a strip to make your rolled rosette with, and I'll just make a little snip and then I'll pull it, and I'm going to take the strings off. I like how stringy these look, though. Oh, and here's the important thing about painter's drop cloth. It's going to be really stiff and hard when you take it out of the package, so you definitely need to wash it. I usually wash mine twice on a medium-high temperature, and then I dry it twice, and then it'll be really nice and soft. Okay, so to make a rolled rosette, we need something to build it on, and a strip, and these can be as wide as you want, as long as you want, totally up to you. Where do I get the wrap? The wrap comes from magnoliadiy.com, and as soon as I'm finished, so do the pillow covers. As soon as I'm finished, I will put links up. So if you want a link to the pillow wrap, just let me know. They come a package of 2, and they're not very expensive at all. I can't remember what they are, like $13 or $14 for 2 of them. Super nice quality. Okay, so when you're making a rolled rosette, you always start with a knot. And I'm just going to put a blob of glue in the center of my little piece right here, and I'm going to stick my knot in there. Okay. And then you're going to, the messier the better, you're going to kind of pinch, twirl, and wrap this long tail around the center. So you want to put a bead of glue that you can push it into, and push it as close into the center of your little rolled rosette. And then you're just going to keep going until basically you're done. You can do this technique with canvas duck, with really any kind of fabric. You can do it with lace. You could do it with printed fabric. I mean, whatever you want. These rolled rosettes are so fun to make, and they're so easy. So see, I'm just going to keep going around and around until I get whatever size I'm looking for. So we're doing pillows today, And we're probably going to do pillows tomorrow also because I'm working on another fun pillow project with all these beautiful pieces of fabric. I have a friend who about 3 or 4 years ago, she was a decorator. She gave me a whole bunch of her fabric sample books. And so we're going to make a pillow with some of the pieces that I'm cutting into petals, and it should be really fun. That's probably what we'll do tomorrow. And then, if you're watching this live, I think my son Noah is going to do Christ and Crafting with me this Sunday. This was all his idea. He wants to talk about whether we are a Mary or a Martha, and what, in his opinion, is the better way to be. Okay, so you can see I'm just going to keep going around and around and around. Ooh, I have a fun technique to show you for the petals for the flower that we're going to make here on this pillow. So stay with me. It creates some nice dimension, and it makes it so that the little petals don't just look like they're flat. Okay, so I've almost gone all the way around. Can you see? That's my tail. I am going to trim off the base that we built this rolled rosette on. Just cutting around it. Okay, so here's the back now, and here's the front. And I'm going to take this little tail right here and kind of fold it over the back and glue it down. That's the easiest way to finish these up so you don't have this tail that you're dealing with. Oh my gosh, this is probably the 300th rolled rosette I've made in 5 years. They're so fun. Okay, so that was the first thing. The next thing for our pillow wrap is that we're going to create a ruffle that's kind of like the ruffle that we put on the ends of our painter's drop cloth table runner that we did about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And I just have this strip. I'm going to tell you the dimension. Grab a ruler. It is about 5.5 inches wide this way. And then it is around 36 inches long, but it could be whatever you have. And this was created just by tearing, just like I showed you a minute ago. And I can clean off the strings later. Okay, so this is a no sewing machine project because not everyone knows how to sew and not everyone has a sewing machine. So, but most people do know how to use a needle and thread. So I'm going to use a needle and thread to do a running stitch. What's going on here? I threaded my needle in advance. Did you guys happen to see the video where we made these needle books? That was one of my favorites. Okay, so I'm just going to do it. It's called a running stitch, a gathering stitch, a cinch. I mean, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to start in the center, and I'm going to do a knot here at the end to keep it from pulling through. And then all I'm going to do is run it roughly towards the center, no measuring. I don't look like, this is just an example. It doesn't look like I'm very much in the center. But anyways, you'll get something that will look like this. And then I'm just going to gather it up. And that is what, you just cinch it up. That is what creates the ruffle. Okay. Put this away. All right. So I've already done that. And this is what I have. And it doesn't look super cute just looking at it here, but it's going to be adorable when we put it on our pillow wrap. So I'm just kind of arranging the gathering. All right, and we built our rolled rosette. I actually have a bigger one. And now I'm going to create my petals. And to do my petals, all I did was I took a piece of computer paper and I sketched a petal. And then I pinned it on, and I'm just cutting it out. One more. I'll count to see how many total I have, and I'll also measure that. But it just can be absolutely whatever you want, whatever shape. If you like rounded petals, then do a rounded shape petal. If you like them pointy, do a pointy. Okay, so my little petals are not quite 5 inches from point to point, and the fattest part is about 3.5 inches from side to side. And what I did to create some dimension was, I'm trying to decide what's the top or the bottom, I don't think it matters. I just ran a little bead of glue about halfway down the center. And then I folded them in half and pinched the fabric into that glue, and this is what you get. So let me do the last one. You don't have to do that step if you don't want to, but it really does add a lot. So, did I say any of my normal stuff? I'd love to know if you're watching. Feel free to ask questions. At the end, let me know if you would like a link or a list of ingredients for this project with, you know, the sources of where everything came from, like that this is Everbuilt painter's drop cloth, you wash it twice, all that kind of stuff. And it'll have a link to the pillow wraps. But if you want that, just let me know, and I'll reply to you in the comments with that info. Okay, I've just folded this pillow wrap up, and I measured what would be the center. I've got a pin in it right here. And my plan is to do this little ruffle off to one side, like that, and we're going to add some buttons to it. This is the front. And then we're going to create a flower over here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if I'll need all 7 petals or not. We'll see. Let's glue the ruffle on first, and then we're going to add buttons. So I'm just going to glue basically where the cinch is in the middle. I'm going to glue that onto my pillow wrap. A lot of times the crafts that I do here are dependent on what supplies I have on hand. So, because I try to use what I have whenever possible and not go out and buy new whatever. So I was pretty limited on how much painter's drop cloth I had this morning. And I just decided to use what I had and to make that be enough and make that work. Okay, let's go underneath the side and just do a little bit further over. This is, by the way, this is regular low temperature hot glue. This is a Surebonder. It's a low temperature hot gluing device. You can get these at any craft store, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, for usually under $10. And I use their brand of glue sticks. And what I have found is that it really is low temperature. Because I've just had too many hot glue burns that I'm not willing to risk that anymore. And so I recommend using a low temperature hot gluing device. And oh, I know what I was going to say. And here's the thing. People ask me all the time, well, this is fabric. Do I need to use the fabric hot glue sticks? Well, no, you really don't. Not for this kind of a project, and I'll tell you why. If you were going to make, put a ruffle on a t-shirt or a tea towel or something that you would need to be washing in the washer, then you want to use the fabric hot glue sticks. And Surebonder has those in a low temperature that are specifically for fabric. But they're a little bit more expensive than just their regular Surebonder ones. So that's why I don't ever use them unless I just absolutely need to, because I'm frugal. And why would I want to, have to spend more than necessary? Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit more glue on right next to. So this will never be washed in the washing machine. I'll tell you what would happen if you washed it in the washing machine. This will completely unravel. But like this, sitting on a pillow, it's going to be soft and it's going to be just fine. Okay, and I can play with my ruffles a little bit later if I decide to. What do you guys think? We'll add some buttons to it in just a minute. Okay, now let's make our flower. And I was going to use a big center, but now I'm thinking, do I want a big center? Yes, I do. Okay, so basically, this is what my little flower petals are going to look like. And I'm going to put a little bit of polyfill inside of them, just a little bit, so that they're dimensional. So I need to figure out where I'm putting this. And I will glue on my center last. Can you guys see how cute it's going to be? Totally, totally my colors. Oh my gosh. I think I want 7 petals. I do. Look how cute that's going to be. Absolutely adorable. Okay, I'm going to set some scissors on the ones I'm not working on right this second, just to hold them in place. And I'm going to put glue around the bottom point where I did the little fold. I'm just gluing that down, and I'm going to come up a little bit higher. This flower petal is going to kind of stick out over the end. So when I glue it closed, I'll glue it along the area where the pillow wrap is. And I'm just going to take a teeny little bit of, oh my gosh, this is going to be so cute. It seriously is going to be so cute. So I'm going to glue it closed along this seam on the top. And I want the painter's drop cloth to unravel a little bit. This is hard for me to hold it so you can see. It's going to be really cute. Okay, let's go this way. No, let's go the other direction. I need to get this one glued down too because, yeah, I will. I wasn't paying attention, and I glued it onto the flower next to it a little bit. So I'm super excited about this pillow, and I'm also super excited about the next one that we're going to make. I think that you can just never have too many pillows. That's my opinion. Seriously. And pillow wraps make everything so much easier. So you don't have to be constantly changing your pillows, you know, from season to season if you like to do that. You can just swap the wrap out and keep using the same pillow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is going to be absolutely adorable. We're going to do some mother of pearl vintage buttons on here, but you could also do my bling pack from Totally Dazzled if you want. That would be beautiful too. Today I'm just going to do your basic mother of pearl. Wow, this is so cute. And I really think that doing the little seam down the center gives this some movement. that it wouldn't otherwise have. All you can see is my arm, my sleeve, my back, and let me turn around. Okay, I don't know. I'm still working to get a good angle. Okay, I'm going to pick the whole thing up in just a second to show you guys. This is what I have so far. Oodly boodly boodles of glue strings everywhere. I'm going to have to spend some serious time getting that cleaned up. Okay. All right, let's do this one next. And I will get good pictures, close-ups, when I'm all finished. And I will put those in these comments as well as just separately here on this page. And if you do these, you do one of these flower pillow wrap things, I definitely want to see pictures. So I just glued that one down. I'm going to grab some polyfill. This polyfill is from Walmart, and this is my favorite polyfill because it's stiff. It's called Crafter's Corner Polyfill, dry polyester packing, and it says that it's ideal for making dolls, and it's 20 ounces, whatever that means. So if you're looking to get some polyfill, this came from Walmart. It's around, I don't know, $6 or $7 or something like that. It's been a while since I bought it, but it's the best, in my opinion. Okay, we're getting there. Don't forget that I have a rosette to add to it. If you are a messy crafter like me, this is an ideal project because the rolled rosettes are messy. The messier the better. And working with painter's drop cloth is messy. So it kind of camouflages any messiness that you might have going on. It's supposed to look that way. This kind of reminds me of a poinsettia, the shape of the petals. That was just purely accident. And I don't have a pattern that's printable or that I could include, but I will take pictures of these with the it was like around 5 inches long and 3.5 or something wide. Okay, last petal. Hopefully you can see a little better right now. Let me bring this closer. Try not to tip it over. Go up and then aim down a little more. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Karen. She says she can see everything fine. I am constantly changing things around based on what you guys say. And I want you to be able to see, believe me. That's part of the reason why I always get good pictures after and put them here in these comments. And I also just put them on DiyDreaming because I want you to be able to see what it was that we did. All right, look at that. Now let's put, oh, it's so cute. This is the rosette that I showed you how to make. We actually made this little one. But these rosettes are not hard at all. And you can do so many cool things with them. So if you haven't tried making a rolled rosette yet, you should. They're kind of addicting. They're sort of like the pulled string burlap flowers that once you start, it's hard to stop. Wow, you guys, this is so cute. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Okay, let's do something cute here. And I had several ideas. One idea was to use some of this, what is it called? Burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. But I think it takes away from the whole look, so I opted not to. And then I thought about using some of this lace, also from Dollar Tree. And you certainly could, but I feel like it takes away also. So I think what I'm going to do is I am just going to glue some buttons here and there. And I'm going to grab a variety. That's pretty. What do you guys think? Do you like this idea of using buttons? Look how sweet these are. These must have been on a child's sweater or something. I love how in generations gone by, when a piece of clothing wore out, people took the buttons off and saved them. I just love that. And most of my buttons here are real old. You know, they're not brand new, most of them. And I just love thinking about what the history might be. Don't think I want super big buttons. Okay, Margaret says she likes the burlap ribbon or the larger buttons. That's the same. Okay, well heck, let's go back to this. I'll put it at the bottom. As soon as I'm finished, I'm going to go get probably a soda or something and get settled in my comfy chair in the family room, and I will get busy reading all your comments, answering questions. For anyone who wants my recipe, I'll get busy getting that out. If you want links or any of that kind of info, I'll get busy getting that out too. This is where I'm headed with our buttons. And this is our flower. Oh my gosh, and I love to use these buttons that somebody clipped off of a piece of clothing and they didn't clip the thread out. I just think it gives the button a lot of character. I usually don't take that out. Okay, now here's another idea, and I'm going to put it on our pillow. But I toyed with the idea of scattering some buttons around the white spaces. What do you guys think about that idea? I'll show you just a quick example. They'd be little ones. Does that make it too busy? I want your opinions. I might finish this up off camera so I can read all of your opinions and play with it a little bit, but let's see what this is going to look like. And in case you have some of the Magnolia pillow 18 by 18 pillow covers, they are so nice and they look great with this pillow wrap. I have a very fluffy pillow insert in mine. What do you guys think? I feel like we need something right here. Or maybe I need to scooch it a little bit further over. Tell me what you think. Okay, Kathy says add more buttons. I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Like in this space right here. The buttons around would be cute. I think buttons, okay. I think so too. I love an excuse to use more buttons. I really don't need an excuse to use more buttons. I use them on almost every craft project that I do here. I'm gonna do mostly littler ones though. Okay, I probably am going to finish this up off camera, but let's add a few more little buttons here and there. So anyways, here is a start. And I'll probably put a couple like around this area. Do you guys like it? You think some bigger ones too? Okay. Well, I am going to fiddle with that off camera. And tomorrow, I think, we're going to do this other petal pillow that was inspired by one of the pillows that I saw at Queen of Hearts this last week. So if you remember those pictures that I posted, that'll give you a little clue about what I have in mind. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you would like a link to the Magnolia 18 by 18 pillow cover. It comes in a 2-pack. Or if you want a link to the pillow wraps that fit this perfect, they come also in a 2-pack. Or let me know if you want my ingredient list of where everything's from and what it's called.